Remind you that if you have a makeup exam, it's here at 6:15. If you missed a quiz or an exam, you do it here at 6:15. Okay? Now, you have a quiz next Tuesday on Spinoza. So if you understand what you are doing today, you will spare yourself a quite painful weekend. So try to understand what you are saying today, not later. Please, this is friendly advice. So we're saying, we began Spinoza, really the way Spinoza himself began to construct his philosophy, meaning through the critique of Descartes. I will not do the whole critique again today. We've said that the main point is this. If you say God has all perfections, He's beautiful, wisdom, the 99 names of God, you know them, goodness, etc. If you say that God is or has all of these perfections, can you prove that these perfections do not divide God? Did you get the problem? This is really like the main problem. There was a problem on the level of language, the way he uses substance, but I will not recover it today. So really, the main problem is this. You say that God is possible because the idea of perfection implies the unity of perfections, but you didn't prove that to have all perfections is not in any way contradictory. I hope you're getting what he's saying. Maybe this perfection limits this other perfection. You have a conflict. So what he needs to prove is that all perfections, or whatever perfection you have, cannot limit another perfection. I hope this is clear. If you can prove that actually a perfection cannot limit another perfection, you could have all of them without any one of them contradicting the other. Hence, you wouldn't have a contradiction in God. I hope this is clear. Okay? If you say square circle, why square circle is a contradiction? Can you be square and circle? Why not? What is a square? Does a square has corners? Do you have corners or angles in a square? In a square you have corners. In a square, you know what's a square? A circle. A circle. Sorry. Yeah, a square you have corners. A circle, no. My mistake. So, sometimes I hallucinate. Okay, so a square has corners, a circle doesn't have any corners. So this is why you can't be in the same time having corners and not having corners. Contradiction. This is really the problem Spinoza is addressing to Descartes. He's telling him, okay, you're good. You say God is all perfections, goodness, wisdom, all of the perfections. But what if one of these perfections contradicts the other perfection? Like square circle, no? The same. You have to prove first that to be a perfection implies you don't contradict another perfection before you say God has all perfect. This is all what he's saying. It's not too much asking. When you prove the possibility of something, when you prove that this thing is possible, meaning when you show that to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 do not contradict each other, we say that you give the real definition of something, or you show the real possibility of something. Okay, this is philosophical language. What is a real possibility? It's a possibility of which we have shown that its components do not conflict with each other. So, you see, the unity of perfection is a possibility, but it's not yet a real possibility, because we didn't show yet that to have all of them doesn't lead to a contradiction. Is this clear for everyone? So all what we need to show now is we need to really give a proof. We need to give the proof that is going to show that having all perfections doesn't lead to contradiction. That's all. If you can show that, you have your concept of God, and you have it now ascertain, meaning you're not just thinking that because I have this idea, it must be the case. And when we ask you, yeah, but can you prove it? You say, I don't know, this is God, we can't talk about it. I hope you're getting the tension in the argument of Descartes. Okay? So how does he prove that? To prove that, the first step of the proof, the first pack, is what you call the infinitely perfect. This is what you did last time, which is a proof that tries to show that when you are of some kind, you are infinite and perfect. I explain. So, let's take it again. Are these two things material? Anyone? Yeah, thank you. So, do they belong to the material reality, or are they two different realities? They belong to the material reality. This is all what he's saying. I hope you agree that it's simple, no? He's saying, the pen, the pen is in the material reality. It's not itself the material reality. I hope you agree. The pen is a part of the material reality. It's not itself a reality. So you say, yeah, but come on, sir, it's real. Yeah, we know it's real. So if it's not a reality, it's what? The other name of reality. You have reality and what is the other name of reality? Synonym of reality. It's on the board. Left. Substance, thank you. Substance is, if you want to use a slang normal word for substance, is reality. Okay? Substance is real. So, is the pen a reality or a modality? For it to exist, does it depend on a reality? And which reality? The material reality. If you don't have extension, can you have a pen? You can't have a pen. So you see what Spinoza is saying is that this thing is already a modality. Why? Because you can't have this if you don't have matter and space. You can't have this if you don't have matter and space. But it's clear that this itself is not matter itself, nor space itself. Is this clear? Hope you agree that this is not space itself. Okay? This is in space. It has a volume, but it's not itself the volume. It's a fragment or a section or a part of the material substance. So, this is when we did last time the perplexing demonstration that tries to answer the following question. Can you have now many realities that share the same nature? Who would like to translate this sentence into normal English? I've already translated half of it. Yeah? In normal English, not in philosophical English. Can you have many substances sharing the same attribute? How do you translate that in normal language? Thank you. Are there several realities sharing the same nature or having the same type? Can you translate that even further in normal English? With an example. An example that I just gave. Yeah, please translate the sentence. If I need to know if something is passed. So, I'm just checking. So, can you translate that sentence? Are there different realities of the same kind? How can you translate it in normal language? In a very, very simple way. It's not that, this is the idea, but if you want to formulate it clearly, if you can't formulate it clearly, it means that you're not getting it yet. How can you translate, are there many realities of the same type? Give me an example of that. Yeah.
Humans and other types of humans.
No, you see, humans and other types of humans, you're not dealing with realities of the same type. What should you think about? Humans is a very special example. You should say, are there many material things? Okay? You see, your focus is matter. Matter is one of the recognized substances. Matter, thought. So the question is, can there be many realities which all are material? Did you get the difference? So humans, it's a very special case. We'll see it soon. I'm not arguing, can you have many humans and they are realities? I'm arguing, given a certain nature, like matter, can you have many realities in that nature? I hope you got the difference. Okay? So can you have many realities that share the same attribute? Meaning, for example, can you have material reality 1 and material reality 2? Like when we think, usually we think, oh, this is real and this is real. Can you have two material realities that share the same attribute? What should you give as a demonstration? That was last time. So I'll give you again the demonstration and tell me if you understand the demonstration. So if you have two realities which have the same attribute, what is an attribute? It's written on the board. Left side. What is an attribute?
What we conceive.
What we conceive as constituting the essence of substance. So what is an attribute?
It's the essence of the substance.
Yeah. So what do you mean by that? Give me an example of an essence of the substance. What is the essence of the substance matter? It's to extend. Okay? You have a substance which is matter. It cannot be matter if it doesn't occupy a space. Is this clear? Oh. So when you say, the attribute of matter is to extend is the essence of matter. Good? Fine. So if you have now two supposed material substances, two matter and matter, can you distinguish them by their attribute if they share the same attribute? No. Why not? Yeah. Huh? Yeah, but can you distinguish them? They both matter. Can you know which is which by distinguish their attributes now? No. Is this clear? Can you distinguish thought from matter because they have different attributes? Yeah, we say one substance is what? Thinking substance, and the other one is extending substance. So if you have two substances of two different attributes, you can say this one is the one that thinks and this one is the one that extends. But let's suppose now you have two substances which have the same attribute, meaning both are extending. Can you distinguish them by saying one is extending and the other one is extending? No. So if you share the same attribute, can you distinguish two things sharing the same attribute by the attribute? No. Why not? Because it's the same. It can be more, simple. You share the same attribute. This is not what will make you different from the other thing. It's the same. So how could you differentiate them now if they share the same attributes, these realities? What's left? The mode. Yeah. Shape, color, whatever. But if you distinguish them by the mode, would you be knowing them by the mode? How would you know which is which? Wouldn't you know which is which by the mode? Yeah. So wouldn't you have then knowledge of the substance because you have knowledge of the mode? Yes or not yes? Okay. So if you say they are indistinguishable when it comes to the attribute, what's left? To distinguish by the mode. To distinguish means to know something. So if you want to know something, and in this case the substance by the mode, is this a contradiction? Yes. Yeah, why yes?
Because substance is independent.
Independent. And what is mode? Actually, do you know the mode by the substance or the substance by the mode? Mode by, which means what he's saying in slang English. Can you really know that this is matter from the color blue? Or do you know that it's blue because you know matter? Blue because you know matter, everyone. You have a patch of blue. This patch, can it exist if it doesn't occupy a space? Do you have a blue which is outside of space? No. So should you know space before knowing blue or blue before knowing space? Space before knowing blue, actually. If you're colorblind, you know there's space, but you don't know exactly what are the colors. To take the example of the color. For the shape, it's the same thing. Can you know that this is a shape if you don't know what it's space? What is a shape? It's a distribution of lines and volumes in space. So can you know what is a shape without having any clue of what is space? No. So can you really know that this is a spatial thing by the mode? By a spatial mode? No, you bugged again. So can you really know that this is a spatial thing by knowing a spatial mode? No. Well, this is all what he's saying. He's saying, you know what? If you have two substances which are spatial, meaning material, you wouldn't be able to distinguish them by their modes because it's an absurdity. You would have to know the mode without knowing the matter, which is absolutely absurd. Is this clear? So this is the first demonstration. I hope it's clear for everyone. Yeah.
You're saying it's a chair, chair,
Yeah.
you can distinguish them by the color.
You can distinguish a chair from a chair by the color, but you can't distinguish a matter from a matter by the color. Chair, is a chair a substance? Is chair a reality or is it in a reality? In reality. So this is a mode. Can you distinguish modes by modes? Can you distinguish two modes by their different modalities? Modes by modes, not mode and substance. Can you say this is a blue chair, this is a red chair? Is this possible? Yeah. But can you say that this blue chair tells me that there's a material reality, blue, or whatever it is, different from the red reality? Does it make sense anymore? No. So you can't distinguish mode from mode. You say black chair, blue chair. But it doesn't mean that now chair is a reality. As you have said in the beginning, chair is in the material reality and it's not itself a reality. Do you agree that you can't burn this? You make it like a cube of plastic. It's material, it's still there. As you know the law, nothing disappears, everything transforms, the chemical thing. It means that matter remains matter regardless of what shapes it takes. So these shapes and colors are in matter, and not that they are themselves an independent reality from matter. So this is why you can distinguish modes, of course. You say blue chair, man, animal, whatever you want. But all of these modes are in matter. All of these are in matter. And of course, to know matter, you don't know the mode to know matter. You know matter to know the mode. Okay? I hope it's clear. So now let's see if you're understanding. Let's take another demonstration for the same problem. Can you cut a reality? Can you divide a reality? If you divide these, are they realities? No, what are they? Parts meaning, you have three words, substance, mode, attribute. If they're not substances, what are they? Modes. That's all. Either you're matter or you're something in matter. Either you are yourself space or you are a part of space. Yeah. Now, you can do the same for thought, but matter is easier. So it's already difficult with matter. Yeah, but it's the same reasoning, same exact reason. But I'm trying to make you understand the thing with matter because it's easy. It's already difficult to think about thought, so let's stick to matter for the time being. So if you divide this, really, if you bring a cutter and you cut the pen, and indeed the pen ends up being cutted, you end up having two pieces. Can you say that you have now two realities? Why not?
Because you couldn't do reality.
Yeah, how can you give me the proper demonstration? If you want to cut a reality, yeah, these are two different modes belonging to the same reality. Now we want the demonstration. Let's suppose you want to cut a reality. What do you need? No, not yet. If you want to cut a reality, what do you need? You need another. Can a reality cut itself? No. So you need another reality. But for this other reality to cut or limit or destroy this reality, should they share the same nature? Yes. Now you bring in the other attribute. Can you destroy matter with thought? No. Can you cut, unless you are a samurai, the pen with your thought? No, you can't. Okay? So if you want to cut a pen, what do you need? You need another thing which is material. So you need a reality which is material and another reality which is material supposed to cut it. But if they are both material, aren't they the same reality? Yes. So you see, you can't cut matter. And this is why we know that there are no holes or no voids in the universe for Spinoza. Spinoza, as for Aristotle and as for Leibniz, nature doesn't make jumps. Do you understand why nature doesn't make jumps? Meaning there are no gaps in the material fabric. Why aren't there any gaps in the material fabric? To have a gap, what does it mean? It means you have a hole, right? So why you don't have holes in the universe? You know, you walk like that, you see a hole. Huh? No, because of what I've just said. What does it mean you can't cut reality? Let's suppose you bring your reality drill and you want to drill reality. Should the drill be made of matter to drill matter? Yeah, so it would fuse with it. Oh, great. So let's suppose you want the boundary of the universe, a boundary for the universe. Can you have a boundary for the universe? The limit, you have limit, limited. If you want to limit something, should they be of the same nature? Yeah.
You cut reality by reality. Here is the extension of reality.
Yes, but the way you said it, because it's extension, I didn't get it. Okay? But it's not that. Be careful. The material real is itself extending. So the problem is not that if I put a reality it becomes its extension. They are both extended and hence they belong to the same thing, which is the material extension. So I repeat, let's suppose, imagine you have a boundary of the universe. Can you have a boundary of the universe? Why not? To have a boundary, should you have a bounded and the boundary? Yeah. Should they belong to the same nature to be able to bound each other? Yeah. If they belong to the same nature, are they the same reality? Yes. So can you bind the universe? Does it have a limit? No. So when you are of some nature, let's say the material nature, are you infinite? Yes. Why yes? Because if I want to bound you, what will happen? It will extend, but it will be of the same reality. So you can't limit reality. Is this clear? You can't limit it from the outside, nor make holes in it, nor cut it. So a reality is infinite. Is this clear? If you are matter or thought, you do the same reasoning for thought, you are infinite. Is this clear? We can't limit you in any way. Neither in depth, nor in weight, nor in width, nor in anything. We can't limit you if you are of some nature. So this is why they call it the infinitely perfect. Is this name clear now? It's infinitely perfect, but also it's a perfection that occupies infinity. So the third demonstration. So this one we did so far by the absurd. You can't have two substances sharing the same attribute, or else you have to distinguish them by the mode, which is absurd. Second one, you can't limit or divide some reality or substance, because to do that, you will have to have another substance sharing with it the same attribute, which is also absurd. Third demonstration, by the numerical distinction. Now, what is a numerical distinction? It's when you make distinctions such as 1, 2, 3. Is this clear? Huh? When you say 1, 2, 3, you are distinguishing in number. We call it, philosophical language, numerical distinction. What is the translation of numerical distinction in normal English? Is to count. Okay? To count. So, in order to count anything, should the counted belong to the same attribute, meaning definition? Yes. Can you count banana, orange, apple? Can you count banana, orange, apple and say 3? How yes? Why not? Unless you say they are fruits. Okay? Can you say banana, apple, orange 3? You can't. Can you say? Meaning, can you say? You can't say it. You can't say, well, I have 3 banana, apple, orange. You say, I have 3 fruits. This is when you put the S. 3 fruits, because fruit is the common definition of these 3 counted items. Is this clear? So to count by the definition of counting, meaning by the definition of the numerical distinction, what is being counted must belong to the same attribute, meaning to the same definition. I hope this is clear. So can you count substances? Can you count realities? To count realities, should they have the same attribute? For you to be able to count them? Yes. Can many realities have the same attribute? No. So can you count them? No. Hence, realities, i.e. substances, are not countable. You can't count them. I hope this is clear. So let's do it differently. If you have 20 human beings, what is the definition of a human being? You have it here on the left, on the board. It's an animal ration. You see, the definition of human being. How many essences does the human has? 2 essences. You can't be a human being if you're not alive. You can't be a human being if you're not rationally thinking. So the human being has 2 essences. Now, does the definition of the human being imply how many human beings exist? No. So what explains how many human beings exist? Huh? No. Really, it's not like... huh? What do you mean? Really, I'm asking very simple question. Their parents, thank God, thank you. Thank you. What explains why you have 20 human beings? Actually, it's the parents. It's as simple as that, Why do you have 20 and not 40 and not... because there's life and death and love, and this is why you have 20. Now, does the definition explain how much exists? How the definition of man, does it exist how many men exist? No. What explains that? Their parents, meaning an external cause. If you are caused by something else to exist, are you still a substance? Huh? No. So if you have many men sharing the same definition, all of them are humans, given that their definition cannot imply their existence, something else implies their existence. There must be another reason that explains why men exist. Given that it's not themselves that explains their own existence, they are not substances, they are what? Modalities. Okay? So I hope now you start to get in this atmosphere. If you have many, whatever many you have, can you be sure and certain that this many is not a manyness of realities, but a manyness of modalities? If you have many, can you show that it's not realities? Yes. Why yes? Because they will have to share the same attribute. Realities don't share the same attribute. Okay? Is this clear? Okay. So, I hope this is clear. It's not that complicated, I hope. The definition of number cannot apply on reality. Reality, hence, is infinite and it's one. It's both. Any perfection, anything which is real, is immediately unique and infinite, and this is really the basic properties of reality. Yeah.
So Spinoza says it must be realities.
We didn't get how much yet there, but first I want you to understand that. Did you understand why you can't count realities? Okay? You can't count realities because they don't share the same attribute. Is this clear? Okay? To count, they have to share the same attribute. If they don't share the same attribute, you can't count them. Hence, they are not numerically distinct. They are not a manyness. Okay? So as we've said last time, you can understand now the Christian Trinity as a possibility of the real. What does the Christian Trinity say? You have the Father, then the incarnated Father, meaning the flesh, meaning space, if you want to put it in philosophical slang. Here you have the Son, and what do you have to? The Holy Spirit, which is what? Thought. So can you have a model of reality where you have God the Father, which is perfection, God the Son, which is space or matter, incarnation, and then the Holy Spirit, which is thought? Is this a possibility now? And can they all be infinite and perfect without anyone limiting the other? Can now thought limit matter or God limit both? If this one is thought, matter, and divine, can they limit each other? Let's suppose you have these three substances. Can they limit each other, knowing that the three are infinite? Every one of them is a reality, yes. It's not, yeah. They don't share the same attribute, hence would they limit each other? No, why not? To limit each other, what do you need to have? A common attribute. You see, at least he proved that. He proved that. Okay? At least he was able to prove that if you have three entities, you can't even call them three. Can you call them three? Why not? They don't share the same attributes. So this is a mystery of Trinity. The mystery of Trinity, how God is one and three, actually because He's unique. Not one, unique. 3 times unique. He's 3 times like nothing else. So He's 3 times unique, so He can be unique 3 times without having a division in God and without having a contradiction in this kind of model. Okay? So, but Spinoza is not going to go there. This is a possibility. The Cartesian thing now, at least now the Cartesian distribution makes sense. It's not anymore all of them are perfect, but if perfection is only to God, hence it's not in matter and thought. No, all of them are perfect, all of them are infinite, and all of them are unique. Now let's see the conception of Spinoza. We said that the first question was, can we have many substances for the same attribute? The answer is no. You can have one substance per attribute, yeah, like the substance perfection, or God, the substance thought, the substance matter. You can have that. And it's a plausible possibility. This could be the case. Our reality could be that. Now the other question is here, can we have one substance with many attributes? Yes. No. Why yes? Wonderful. Why not? No, okay, it's okay, you can say that. Versus a reality. Can it have many essences? Can a reality have many essences? Can a modality have many essences? Like what? Shades? Different shades of blue. No, each shade is something. I gave you the example, it's here. Man, how many essences does he have? 2. A cow, how many essences it has? Also 2. Color, maybe it has 1 because it's only extended. It might have 2, I don't know. You have to search the definition of color. This is clear. So can you be something, one thing, and this is here we're talking about a mode. Can you be a mode with 2 essences? Do you think and do you have a body? Us, do we think and have a body? Yeah. So, am I animal and thinking? Can I be what I am without being alive? Can I be who I am without being alive? No. Can I be what I am if I lose my mind? No. So you see, these are my essences. I have 2. So can a mode have many essences? Yeah. Can a reality have many essences? Can it do many things, the same reality? Huh? So me, can I talk and walk? And while I'm talking, I'm walking? Yeah. So you see, I can do 2 things at the same time. And I can perform in thought and in space in the same time. It's like when you think and when you, I don't know, build furniture. If you're a carpenter, you sing and you build furniture. Are you in space and in thought at the same time? Yeah. So is there any contradiction in saying that a mode can have many essences or reality can have many essences? Apparently no. So a reality could have many essences. It could have many essences. From a first sight, there's nothing contradictory in that. Yeah. Yeah, different and unique. Yeah. We will see. You will see. You have to prove that having all the essences keeps you unique. This is key. But at first sight, just for you to understand, there's nothing contradictory in having one thing with many essences. I'll give you an example. If you take Beirut, in how many different ways can you understand Beirut? Is it an economical entity, Beirut? Is it a historical entity? Is it a geographical entity? Is it a demographical entity? All of these are the essences of this thing you call Beirut. Is this clear? So you can understand something in really many, many different ways, and the way you understand it, sometimes it constitutes the essence of that thing. Meaning Beirut wouldn't be Beirut without its demographic population, without its topography, its buildings, its economy, etc., etc. And all of these end up building the entity Beirut as one modality, not reality. Okay? So now we need to know if the substance could have many essences without this leading to the division of the substance, without it becoming many, and without this leading to the contradiction of the substance with itself. Is this clear? Oh. We need now to consider the case, which is the following. What if we have a substance with many, many essences, meaning attributes, to make it simple, and we need to prove that to have all the attributes doesn't divide the substance and doesn't put the substance in an inner contradiction, and it remains one even though it has all the attributes. This is clear. So it remains unique and one even though it has all the attributes. So this is the demonstration. It's 3 steps. Do you agree that the substance is conceived independently? Anyone? Yeah. Is the attribute what we conceive as constituting the essence of substance?
Yes.
As is the attribute of a substance conceived independently? to understand the essence of substance, do you need to understand anything else in relation to that? If you just follow these three formally for the time being, the essence, you have to think it's the substance essence, you have to conceive it independently of anything else. The attribute is the essence of the substance, hence the attribute is conceived independently of anything else. Is this clear or I repeat? Independent means you don't need to know something else in order to know it. Huh? So a substance, when you want to understand what is a substance, you don't need anything else to understand what is a substance. Is this clear? The attribute is what you understand as being the essence of the substance. Is this clear? By definition. Hence, is the attribute conceived independently from anything else? Yeah. This is all what he's saying. Attribute is what? Attribute is what constitutes the essence of substance. That's all. It's a definition. See, if the substance had an essence, attribute is the way you understand what is the essence of the substance. Okay? Now, given that the substance must be conceived independently, do you hence have to conceive the attribute independently? Yeah. And when you conceive an attribute independently and another attribute independently, are they both independent from one another? Anyone? Yeah. So can you conceive thought without the conception of matter, or can you conceive of matter without the conception of thought? Yeah. We know matter, we know thought, and we know that matter is extended, thought is thought, meaning intended, and we know that thought has nothing to do with matter, and you don't need to know this to know that, and inverse. Is this clear? So is thought and matter, do they share a common something, thought and matter? Or are they absolutely conceived independently from one another? Great, they conceive independently from one another. Okay? So if you have a substance with many attributes, each one of these attributes you will conceive it how? Dependent on the attribute or independently dependent on the substance? Dependent on the substance, which means you can conceive matter as being one of the actions of the substance, and you can conceive thought as the other action of the substance, and you conceive these two as having nothing to do with one another. Is this clear? I hope this short demonstration is clear. So I repeat. So when I conceive something as absolutely without the need of something else to be conceived, we call this a real distinction. Can you think of thought without thinking of matter? Can you conceive what is thought without the need to have the conception of what is matter? Yeah.
But we need to think to know about it.
Yeah, but you see, you're totally right. But here I'm saying, the essence of matter, which is to be extending, does this extension need thinking to be extending?
Thinking as well as an idea.
So you're totally right to put your finger here. So I repeat, and we go very slow. When I conceive that man's essence is to be alive and to think, are these essences in man or in my head? When I say you cannot be who you are without being alive and rational. Are these two essences inside you or in my head? Huh? Inside the object. Okay? So you see, we have to be very careful. The attribute is the way we conceive what constitutes what? The essence of the thing. Is this clear? Okay. So now I can think that you are alive and thinking, but these two things are in you. So matter, can I conceive its essence as extending? Yeah, but now is the extending in my head? No. Does it depend on my head, the extending? No. I just understood that there's something called matter that extends. Okay? So, to extend now, do you need also to, does it need any, to extend, do you need to think? To understand the essence of extension, you need to think. But to do the action extension, do you need also to do the action thinking?
No.
No. You can be, as many people think, a pure extension, pure matter, and matter, as you know, doesn't think. Okay? And to think, do you need to be material? The act of thinking? Of course, we don't know. You could have pure thought without the need of matter. A little bit like in Descartes, thought as an independent thing. Okay? Did you get this? So he's saying, I can conceive of essences like extending and thinking, and these two essences have nothing to do with one another. I can conceive the act of extending without the need of the act of thinking being inside the act of extending, and I can conceive the act of thinking without needing to have the act of extending inside the act of thinking. This is why we call this a real distinction, meaning this has nothing to do with that. Okay? So could you be a reality, which supposing, could we have a reality which is God, which is extending and thinking? Could it be performing the two actions? Yeah. No, I understand that. I understand that extending is an essence of God, and I can understand that thinking is another essence of God. Is this clear? They could be. They could be. Now, what is the condition? The condition is that thinking and extending shouldn't contradict each other. How can you prove that if you are constituting the attribute of God, you will never contradict the other things that also constitute the attribute of God, knowing that they are really distinct? Huh? If they are independent, yeah. So do they have a common attribute if they are independent? Extending thinking, do they have a third common attribute? No, because they will conceive independently, because to conceive the essence of substance, you have to conceive it independently of anything else. So if they are independent, do they have a common attribute? If they don't have a common attribute, can you count them?
No.
No. Hence, do they divide God? No. Do they limit God or limit each other? No. Why they can't limit each other, thinking and extending? Because they don't have a common attribute. So you can have actually an infinite number of essences belonging to God, and none of them is going to divide God or contradict the other attribute because they are of different natures. Is this clear? Okay? So now Spinoza has proven that you could have all the perfections, meaning the infinitely perfect, without having a contradiction in God. Did you get the demonstration? Because the definition of substance is that I conceive your essence independently, it follows that all the essences that I conceive of you are independent from one another, hence they don't share a common attribute, hence they are not numerically distinct, and hence they do not divide God. And hence God can have all of them while remaining one. So all of these are, God is unique, the unique substance. And what is matter now? Is it a substance? Matter is an essence of God, meaning it's an activity of God and not anymore another reality. Did you get the difference? You can think that matter is a reality and thought is a reality and God is a reality, or you can think, possibility, that actually you have one reality which is extending and thinking in the same time. You have these two possibilities. Or this, or that. So I draw it here. So either you have the Trinity, so you have God, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, or if you want, perfect matter thought. Or you have this, or you have that. And actually Spinoza says you could have polytheism, because you could have an infinite number of realities. Why you can have an infinite number of realities without any contradiction? Would they contradict or limit each other, these realities? No, why not? They don't share the same attribute. So you could have this, or let's stick to pick up that, or this. So which one of these is our reality? So I'll use the demonstration because it's a bit twisted. Spinoza says, does this cap exist more or you exist more? What do you think exists more and why?
Because you've been alive for
Because
you've been alive long.
not on that point. I've been alive longer. Actually, the pen has been alive longer than you. If you melt it or if you put it in a store, it could be alive for a very long time. Did you get it? So why I exist right here and right now more than this.
Because you are made of matter and thought.
Great. And this one? Great. And this is a demonstration. Which means the pen only exists in which dimension? Only in material. You exist in 2 dimensions. This is why you exist more. He's not saying your body is more better than that. He's not saying that. He's saying your body and the pen are the same in equal, they belong to the same nature, but because you exist in 2 attributes, you exist more. So what exists more? This one, or that one? You see, here you have a little God, and each one is an attribute. Here you have one God who has all the attributes. Which exists more? This or these?
This one.
The one God.
One here. Why? Because he exists in how many attributes? This substance exists in how many? An infinite number. This God exists in how many attributes? This God here. Let's suppose the God of thought. In how many attributes? 1. The reality of matter, meaning the God of matter, in how many attributes? 1. So this one exists less than this one. And this one exists less, etc. So they all exist less than the God which has all the attributes. So we know that our reality must be the ones that exist more because it is what exists. And hence the formula of our reality is this. We live in a reality which is God and which has all the attributes, an infinite number of attributes.
John, Trinity.
Trinity, does it exist more than this one or less?
Okay, that's.
Less. The perfect alone exists less, the thinking alone exists less, and hence Trinity is rejected too. Okay? So we know now, we have now at last the definition of the real. What is the definition of the real? Yeah.
Demonstration for infinite number.
Yeah. 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 Let's suppose here you have an infinite number of substances, each one having one attribute. This one thinks, this one is material, this one is perfect, this one is good, whatever you want. So, which exists more? These or this one? Actually, this one exists less than God having all the attributes. Why? Because this substance having all attributes exists in all the dimensions. While this one exists in how many dimensions? 1. This one, 1. Hence, each one of them is less than the absolutely infinite. Hence, they exist less. And what should exist is what exists more. And this should be the answer. Did you get how we proceed?
Yes. We're taking we're not comparing one by one. We're taking them all. They're different.
If you take them all, each one of them exists less.
Yes, but it doesn't mean all of them.
Okay. Is there any meaning to say all of them? To say all of them, should they have the same envelope or attribute? Yeah. Do they have the same attribute? No. So each one of them is unique, and they can't be all of them. You can't totalize them. Why? To totalize, we need to count them to make one. Can you count these and make them one? No. So you can't say all of them together. So this is why each one of them is less than this one, and this is why you eliminate these altogether. You may eliminate them one by one. Okay? So to have one reality which can perform in all the dimensions is more intense as an existence them to have many realities, each one of them performing in one dimension. So the definition of reality is the absolutely infinite, which is here, meaning you have one substance for all the attributes. Is this clear? This is the definition of God. Now we get it. What is God? God is a substance, meaning He is a reality, independent, and He's a reality who has what? All the essences, an infinite number of essences, meaning in our language, all the attributes. I hope this is clear. So what is now the essence of God? It's to be a substance having all the essences. The definition of God is to be a substance that has absolutely all the attributes, meaning the essences. So I hope this is clear. Is it clear? Let's see if you got it. Now it has to become automated. Why the essences of God do not divide each other? Do not divide God or limit each other? Because they don't have the same attribute. You can't count them. And why don't they limit each other? Because they don't have the same attribute. I hope it's easy now. So when you are really distinct, can you be numerically distinct? When you are really distinct, can you be numerically distinct? No, why not? What does it mean you are really distinct? Two things are really distinct when what? When they have two different attributes. So when you are really distinct, can you be numerically distinct? To count, what do you need? Same attributes. Really distinct, two different attributes. You can't count the really distinct. So even if God has many attributes, should you say it's attributes with S? Can you say many attributes for God, or is it many attributes without S? Without S. Because you can't count these. Can you count the attributes of God? They are infinite, but can you count them? No. Is the infinite a number? To be a number, what do you need? Huh? To count. To count, what do you need? Same attribute. Do these attributes have the same attribute? No. So can you count them? So they are infinite, but not in number. And God, He is unique, but is He one? He's one for sure. But is He one like when you say one apple, two apples, three apples? No. You see, to be one as one apple, you need a common attribute, but in this case you are unique. Nothing is like you. So He's infinite, unique, indivisible, and He's unique an infinite number of times. You have a repetition of uniqueness. He's unique in matter, He's unique in thought, He's unique in X, Y, Z, whatever you want. He's unique over unique. So can anything destroy God? Why not?
Because it will have to be from the same attribute to be able to.
Great. Why the destroyer of God should share with Him an attribute? Because to destroy something, should you be of the same nature of that thing? Yeah. And if someone wants to destroy God, should he share with Him a nature? Let's suppose he wants to destroy the God as extending. This devil of extension, shouldn't he share with God extension? To destroy God as extending? To limit the extension of God. Let's suppose you have the devil of extension. He wants to stop God from extending. Shouldn't he share with God the attribute extension to be able to limit extension? Huh? Yes. And if he shares with God the attribute extension, isn't he extended? Yes. So isn't he in God?
Yes.
Yes. So can he limit God?
No.
No. Where do you get it? So God is absolutely infinite. He cannot be destroyed. Is this clear? Can something give birth to God?
No.
Why not?
Have to be from the same.
He has to be of the same nature. If he is of the same nature, is he God? Yeah. So God is unborn and doesn't give birth. Can God give birth to another thing like the world or a child or something? He gives birth, another reality. Can he give birth to another reality?
What would be God?
Why he cannot give birth to another reality? This reality doesn't have to have an attribute. Doesn't have to be something of some nature. Yeah, and does God have all the natures? So would it share with God a nature? So would it be God? So did God create the world? No, why not? What is the world? No, before that. Is the world extended? Do we think in this world? These are the two natures we know of. So is the world in God or is it created by God? Actually, is the world itself God or is it created by God? Huh? It is God. God is itself the world. Now let's suppose God creates a world. Can He create a world? This world, it should be a reality, and the reality should have a nature. And we said that God has all nature, so should this world share a nature with God? And hence, should it be in God? Yeah. You see, you can only have one reality, which is itself God, which is itself nature, and the good news is that you are swimming in it. The good news is that, this is God. You are looking for Him all the time. This is a modality, but you're already in it. Now I hope you understand why they kicked him out of the synagogue. When he told them, you know what, this is God. We're sitting on it. I told him, listen, get out of here. I see. So this is what he's saying. This is what you call pantheism. Why it's pantheism? Pan is all. Theism is God. Yeah.
Why can't he create something?
Yeah, let's suppose he wants to create a reality.
I'm saying, no, we have a knowledge of God inside us.
Yeah, but you are in reality.
No.
You are in reality.
No.
You remove that. And he can create as many modes as he wants in himself.
No.
You see, if you want that image, God is like an ocean, and everything you see around you are ripples on the oceans, waves, and you are one of these waves. You will appear as a wave, and then you will disappear as a wave, and the ocean will remain the same. So, but can God create another ocean? Another reality? It will have to be of some nature, it will serve nature. Okay? Now, we've said hence that nothing can destroy God, absolutely nothing. Why nothing can destroy God or limit Him? Because they have to share the same nature, the same nature. Yeah. So, does the essence of God, which is to have all the attributes, the essence of God is one substance, all the attributes. This is the formula of God. Does the essence of God imply its existence?
Yes.
Why God cannot be destroyed and cannot be limited? Because what is His essence? Is a reality which has all attributes. So isn't this the reason why nothing can destroy Him? Yeah. So is the essence of God implying His existence? Yeah. Nothing can stop Him from existing. Why nothing can stop Him from existing? Because He has all the attributes. And to stop Him from existing, you will have to share with Him an attribute, and hence you will be Him. So this is why the essence implies His existence. And when you have an existence like this room, what do you understand? What explains existence? What is the formula of existence? Including this room and you in the room. Why is there existence? Because it's possible to have a substance with all the attributes. So, the essence implies the existence of God, and the existence of God is explained by the essence of God. You have an imply and then explain. The essence of God implies that it's an infinite power to exist. Is the essence of God an infinite power to exist?
Yes.
Yeah. Why is an infinite power to exist? Because can anything limit this essence from existing? No. And when you have existence like you are here, meaning there is existence, how do you understand why there is existence? There is existence, do you agree? There is existence. What is the formula of existence? Is it trinity, polytheism, or monism? Is it monotheism as a transcendent God creating the world? Is it polytheism as many gods and being in the world? Or is it trinity? Or is it pantheism? Which one of these is the formula? Pantheism. Okay? So now, if you have existence, you know that this existence is the only one and the unique one, and not the other versions. This is clear. So the essence of God implies an infinite power to exist, and when you have existence, you know that it's an infinite existence because of the essence of God. Do you have questions on that? You have to get the essence of God because the whole rest, which is much worse than this, is about how to unfold the essence of God. But first you need to understand the essence of God is one substance having an infinite number of activities that we call the attributes. That's all. If you are this, you have an infinite power to exist, and nothing can stop you from existing. And this is how we understand what is God. So I hope by now you see that Spinoza solved the problem of Descartes. Please keep it quiet. Spinoza solved the problem of Descartes because he has shown that you can have all perfections without having any limitations in you. And he has shown that if you have all perfections, you exist necessarily because nothing can stop you from existing. Is this clear? Okay? So, to conclude, for Descartes, just to see if you got it, for Descartes now, if I look at this bin, and then I look at this chair, for Descartes, would he say that this is really distinct from that, Descartes? Because I see this clearly without that. Descartes. What is the criteria of a good thought for Descartes? The clear and the distinct. If you see this without that, would Descartes say that this is without that? Spontaneously, yeah. And who would guarantee that this is without that for Descartes? God. So Descartes would think that this reality is distinct from this one because he's able to see this one without that. So Descartes would say that you could have many realities in the same substance. Actually, he said it many times. He said, yeah, this is real because I see this without that. They are really distinct, and hence what is really distinct is numerically distinct. Is this clear for Descartes? And actually, Descartes would even say that you have a substance thought and a substance matter. They are really distinct and they are numerically distinct. I hope now you get the correction with Spinoza. When you look at this and you look at that, if you see this without that, doesn't necessarily mean that they are really distinct. If I see this without that, doesn't mean that they are really distinct. For them to be really distinct, what should you say? You should be able to conceive this without that absolutely. But this and that, they have something in common, which is what? Matter. So they are not really distinct, they are numerically distinct. And actually, the really distinct, like thought and matter, are absolutely not numerically distinct, whilst the numerically distinct is not really distinct. I hope now you get this language. So, your questions for the quiz. Question 1. Question 1. You have to explain why the conception of perfection in Descartes is problematic. Why there's a problem with the conception of perfection in Descartes? The first tier of the critique, meaning you explain that if you know it by a sign it's a problem, and you explain if it has a unity of perfection it's also a problem. Is this clear?
Explain why
You have to explain why the conception of perfection in the graph is problematic. You have two little answers. You say, if I know it by the sign, it doesn't work, and the auxiliary of perfection doesn't work in the graph. Number two, you have to explain why the concept of substance in the graph is problematic. Because when he compares two substances, he thinks that the attribute is itself the substance, but when he compares the substance to a mode, the attribute becomes different from the substance, and because the mode and the substance share the same attribute. So this is number two. Question number three. You follow? Question number two, you have to explain why is the concept of substance in the graph is problematic. Question number three. You have to demonstrate why we cannot have many substances for the same attribute. I will ask you either by the absurd or by division or by numerical distinction. The question would be, I'll specify in the exam, but you could have this one, or that. So this is one question where you have three options in it, but you have to study the three. Question number 4. You have to explain why it's possible for one substance to have all the perfections, meaning all the attributes. Here you say that attributes are conceived independently, they are really distinct. If they are really distinct, they don't share a common attribute, hence they don't contradict or limit each other, hence you can have all of them together. You have it recorded. Question number 5.
There's no question about that.
Questions about that? Please keep it quiet. So, question number 5. You have to explain why it's the absolutely infinite, which is what exists, meaning the formula of existence, rather than having many substances, each one having one attribute. So you explain why. You explain why what exists is one substance having all the attributes rather than many substances having each one different attribute. Is this clear? Which is by the excess of, by the mode of existence. If you are one substance who exists in all the dimensions, you exist more than one substance existing in one dimension, and this is why the formula of existence is absolutely infinite and not the what we call polytheism or Next question. Why is the formula? Why what exists is absolutely infinite rather than many substances each having one attribute. Okay, if you're lost, I remind you that I have open office hours to explain and re-explain. Okay?
Next Thursday?
Next Tuesday.